it's finally been made. Spike Fitzy. Just what's your thoughts on that fight?
Well, at the end of the day, it's another fight. You know, I'm actually happy for Spike because since the Billy Joe Saunders fight, we couldn't really get too much good fights from him. We went to the States. He had a real hard war. You know, the guy he fought was actually similar to Anthony, believe it or not. He was come forward. He was tough Mexican game. But Spike handled him. Spike stood in there with him, and he could handle him. He was a lot bigger actually than Anthony. He was a big super middleweight. You know, as I said, it was like Anthony in the way that he fought some real good former world champions, and he pushed them all the way. So I think it was a good fight. It was like it was meant to happen. Prior to the Fitzgerald fight, you know, the Fitzgerald fight, people thought it's been going on for 5 years. It's not been going on for 5 years. We had our path, he had his path. Spike was at a level where they were calling Spike out because it was a good fight for him to get him back out there in the mix. And there was occasions like we had a show in Liverpool where we offered Anthony the fight, but his team obviously priced themselves out of the fight. But you know, apart from that, it's a good fight. It's a Dublin Cork. You know, as it goes, Dublin versus Cork. Anthony's game, always in shape, loves to fight. You know, he loves to talk a fight too, which is good. It's good for the sport. And Spike basically is the kind of fighter that if you say Spike, you're fighting X, Y, J, he'll fight it. He's no qualms with that. As far as I'm concerned, like there's people saying I didn't want to fight with Spike Fitzgerald. I would take any fight for Spike, whether it's Fitzgerald, whether it's, you know, title fights, or you know, it's basically down to what sells. And I think on a big show with Matchroom with Sky Sports, I think the time is right for Anthony and for Spike, because if it is going to be a war, it's going to be not a war.
You definitely think it's definitely a war. But that's
but
with the 5 years.
But that's Spike's going to war.
Yeah.
And I know Anthony outside the ring as I do inside the ring. And I remember Anthony as an amateur. I remember seeing him fight in the Olympic. We actually brought Timmy over from America to box. Brought kids who actually boxed in the Olympic Games from Costa Rica to fight Anthony. Real skillful guy. But Anthony beat him because Anthony just took the fight right to him. Had no respect for him, had no fear of him. Took the fight right to him. And I didn't know Anthony at the time. I knew his dad. And I thought to myself, I like him. He's got guts. He's got balls. If he could get a bit of education in boxing, he could go a long way. He's out working at the MGM gym now. He seems to be getting that bit of education. But you know, it's all going to come down to who wants it most on the night. It's going to be in Anthony's hometown, the capital. So he's going to play to the crowds. You know, no matter what, I've seen him in fights where he comes out with a game plan, he boxes a little, then he comes to fight. And I like that about him because Spike loves someone who comes to fight too. Spike's only lost against Billy Joe Saunders, and Billy ran around the ring all night, wouldn't come to fight him. I believe it's going to be the same thing with the outcome here. Spike will beat him.
Some people have been saying it's a massive risk for both. Like,
it's not a massive risk.
No.
Like I say to you, the fight was supposed to happen a number of occasions. I never turned down the fight. I was never actually even asked to put the fight on. If somebody comes to me and wants to put a show, I'd say, you know, make me an offer. Put it right. If nothing comes right, it's not an offer. It's only talk. Talk is cheap in my eyes. But I think now the time is right because it's Sky Sports.
Yeah, do you think
and
that makes sense?
It could be Sky Sports fight of the year. And after the fight, you know, who wins or loses, both of them could come out on top because both of them could put on a great show. Like I say, who wins or loses, and then all of a sudden, Sky Sports say, we want these guys on again.
Yeah.
You know, so the time is right. The time is right. It's things are supposed to happen so many times, but it's all about timing. And now the time is right for Spike and for Fitzgerald.
And as you say, like probably 5 years of a build-up, and people saying why isn't it happening? But lucky it's not on a small house.
No. I think 5 years ago would have been nothing because we were both starting out their careers. There'd be nothing coming first. Like the 3 fights Robbie had, or Robbie Long had, Randy Fitzgerald. There were 3 good fights. Nobody saw them. Nobody saw them, and it's a shame because both of them are good fighters. Both of them, you know, I've actually seen some of their fights better than some of the World Championship fights that they're putting on Sky. So now it's time. You know, it's time for Spike and Fitzgerald to fight. You know, we seen what happened when Spike fought Robbie Long. You know, we seen like what happened when 1 round was over, and it's not going to happen like that with Anthony Fitzgerald. And I tell Spike this: it's not a case of, you know, he might caught Robbie cold. I don't believe so. I think Spike's a superior, better fighter. But Andy Fitzgerald is going to take, like, we're going to have a training camp to fight Andy Fitzgerald, like we have a training camp for world title. It's going to have to be, everything's going to have to be right, because the one thing about Andy is, right, is he turns up on the night to fight, he comes to fight. He's good, you know, he's a boxing skill, he's a good fighter, he's tough, and he is going to turn up on the night to fight, and if Spike is not on his game, he actually loses this fight, but I believe it comes down to the game plan. And whoever has the best game plan is going to win it.
And any predictions for it? Or?
Well, I believe I know how it's going to go. But I won't predict that, because then I'm giving away, you know, our game plan. I tell you what I do predict. I do predict as long as it lasts, it will be a war, because there's no love lost between both of them. Now, after the fight, I know, because I've seen in all these wars and 5 years of people slagging off each other. I know after the fight they sit down and shake each other's hand and respect each other. And that's what it's all about. And like I say, I'm not going to get into the whole bad mouth fighters, because every fighter I respect him. I live in Dublin. I know, as I say, I know Anthony, I know his father, I know his friends. I don't need to get to the slagging match, because I do know both fighters are going to turn up on the night. Both of them are going to turn up on the night, both coming to win. And I think what it will do is it will actually elevate both of them, the winners and the losers, to, you know, maybe more fights on Sky, maybe championship fights, and maybe even titles. And
can you get excited the way we are and fight fans are with that build-up, or is it different when you're a trainer or a coach?
I get excited for the fact that my fighters are busy. If my fighters are excited, I'm excited. If they're not excited, I worry. Yeah. You know, if a fighter is not excited about a fight coming up, I would probably tell him not to fight.
What's Spike's mindset towards the fight? Is he?
Well, Spike's mindset. He was to fight in Boston in September for an NABF or NABA title. When I got the call about Spike, as a matter of fact, when I heard Macklin fighting Dublin, I thought that would be a huge fight for Spike. Yeah. You know, fight Macklin, and we did put the offer to fight Macklin. And then he came back and said, listen, Macklin was going a different road, but what about Fitzgerald? I says, yeah, absolutely, why not, you know, but make us an offer. He came back to me with an offer, a good offer. He said, they're offer, we're offer. I said, yeah, let's do it. I mean, it's only a fight, it's just a fight at the end of the day. And like I say to you, the best man wins. And after it's to shake hands, pat each other on the back. And either of them move on with their career. After they probably go different ways. But the one thing that I hope comes out of this is, after the fight, they can both help each other to progress. And I always said it, there was a lot of bad blood going around with Spike and Fitzgerald. They don't really know each other that well. They've never done that wrong with each other, but there's bad blood there. And I think it's crazy because they both missed out on sparring and helping each other to progress in a small city where they're 34. So, like I say, after this fight, you know, they can shake hands, you know, and then move on to whatever they do in life, but they can help each other out along the way.
And you were saying Luke Keeler possibly on the card?
Luke Keeler's going. I spoke to Eddie, and he says, yeah, he said, it was like, I spoke with Luke Keeler. Yeah, let's put Luke on the show. If he was going with prize for it, Luke was on. Yeah. He already agreed that with me. He was going to find the prize for it, no problem. Then he decided that it would probably be a better interest to put a non-prize for a show together, because it's like a Spike show. I think sells the stadium by itself. I think it sells by itself. And the thing is, because it's Sky Sports, they both get paid well. And they will deserve to get paid well, because it's going to be a cracking fight.
Yeah.
But Luke is on. He's going to fight 8 rounds. You know, he's heard a lot of good. Eddie Warren told him he's heard a lot of. Eddie Hearn told him he's heard a lot of good things about Luke. You know, in Spain too. The guy spoke well about him over there too. He's happy to put him on the show. And then I'm trying to make Timsy and Michael Sweeney for the Irish Cruiserweight title on that card as well, because that's another fight that a lot of people didn't see. I think RD covered the fight that night, but they didn't show that fight. They showed the main events, Willie Case and Redondo, but they never showed Ian Tim's fight. So I think that could be another great fight that people in Sky Sports can see as well.
And it has that little bit of Spike and O'Neil too.
Come here, it's a fight. It's like wrestling. It's like WWE. Guys are going to go online, they're going to slag each other off, they're going to call each other all kind of names. That's how you make fights in boxing. You know, but when they're not in the ring, fighters respect each other, because at the end of the day, no matter who you are, you both go through the same scenario. You both have got to bed at night thinking about, you know, it's getting closer. It's going to be a tough fight, going to be in front of a lot of people. You know, I hope everything goes well for me, and every fighter feels that way. They all feel that way, no matter how well they say they do or don't. They're liars if they say they don't fear. You have to have that bit of fear, the adrenaline flowing to get through for the fight. So, you know, there's a lot of need, but let's put it to rest. Let's get that fight on with teams in Sweden as well, hopefully the card. But we're saying that the only way you can put these fights on is big shows that you get paid to put them on. You can't put on a small show. You're not paying the fighters enough money to go out and do a battle, and not enough people aren't seeing it. And that's why I say it's Fitzgerald and Spike. It took time to get to where it is, but it's here now, and it's going to be on Sky Sports, and a lot of the English public will get to see, you know, the talent we have in this country.
Just what you're talking about, Timsy, just kind of where is he at his career at the minute? Because he kind of he got the happier fight, and then it's sort of been stop start.
Fight, and then he went to America. He was training out there for a while. Things didn't work out. Came home. He got a call to fight Tony Conquest. 5 weeks now. He went out and fought. He got a bad cut in the 5th, 6th round, and you know he wasn't in the fight. So rather than continue, I pulled him out of the corner, you know, against his protest. But I thought, why get more damage to yourself? It's out of the game for a while when you're losing the fight anyway. So after that, then there was one thing after another. You got injuries, but you know that's, you know, every road to success. You know, you got a kind of a rocky road to success, and that was his rocky road. And now hopefully that's behind him, and he can now get back in the mix as well. Because in the UK, with Eddie Hearn's got some good cruiserweights, and on Frank Warren, he's got some good cruiserweights.
And is he at that level?
Timsy?
Yeah, like fit and ready to go.
Well, he will be at that level when he fights Michael Sweeney. There's no point in having a guy fit and ready to fight unless the fight's come, because you're burned out and you can't get motivated. But after this, you know, the fight, if this fight can happen, you know, it's up to Eddie Hearn. You know, he has shown an interest in it. If this fight can happen with Timsy and Sweeney, but then I believe Timsy wins again, okay, and then he moves on to better teams. He's got a lot of, you know, baggage. It's gone. You know, as a person, he's grown. You know, he's in a happier place now. His injuries, he's injury free. He's got his operations, and fingers crossed now there's no more injuries. You know, if this fight happens, and I believe Timsy can move on to better things, because if you look at like Tony Bellew, Timsy boxed Tony Bellew in amateur and beat him, and then his final fight the next day, he fought Simmons and lost a very close fight to Simmons. So they're right at the top of their game now, and I believe Timsy, with a bit of luck on his side, can slowly progress to that level. And
just then back to Luke, he gets a chance to expose himself on Sky Sports, and what kind of test are you looking for him?
Well, I don't know. They have a matchmaker, John Witchhouse. They'll call me up and say, this is what we want to do for Luke. I don't want too many tests for fighters, because a fighter can have a very short career if every fight is a test. You have a test, see where he's at the level, then you stay at that level for a little while until he's comfortable at that level. Then you take that fighter and move another notch. And if he gets to the next level, you keep at that level for a while, he's comfortable, he's learning at that level. So you've got to take, you know, you don't just move up each level, each fight, because then all of a sudden you get found out. So you get comfortable at a certain level, and then you move them up. Well, Luke's only pro a year. He only turned pro last year.
We're just passing on the back of, we're hearing stories of going to the gym, basically.
Well, he's on a high at the moment. He's the busiest fighter in the gym. But actually, probably not. Steve Ormond's probably as busy as Luke. But at that level, Luke is he's got 5 good wins. He's only learning. He's had 1 year. He's beating guys and stopping guys who are tough tests, who other guys can't do it with. But you still have to remember something. He hasn't learned everything in a year. So I have to be careful not to destroy his career too by saying, right, let's step up another level. Every fight is a test. Every fight is a test, and they're not going to give us guys who are going to just fall over. I don't want that. Every fight is a test, but it's also a learning process too. And I believe Luke is going to be probably another 2 years down the road before we put him into tough tests, similar to like Spike and Fitzgerald, that kind of fight. Because he's a lot to learn. He's a lot to learn. Like fighters have to, no matter how good you are, fighters going to go through scenarios where they might get cut in the fight, and then all of a sudden they don't know what to do. It's the first time they've been cut, or they might get hit. You know, they might have an off night. You know, they're bugged. They didn't realise they had, and all of a sudden they've no energy. They're jaded. What do you do? So this is where they come to the gym. They learn what to do when they go into spar and they're jaded. They know exactly how to get through a fight. You know, with that little bit of experience, that bit of maturity. Luke is too good a fighter right now to rush. I won't rush him. I'll take my time with him, because he is a potential champion down the road. I really believe it, because he's at a level now with some of the fighters in the gym that he shouldn't even be there. It's too soon for him. But I will hold him back a little while and take my time with him.
And you talk about potential champions. There's sort of rumours of title eliminators for Stephen and big fights in the line.
Well, there's rumours going around of himself and Paul Osmosis. Okay,
would you take that fight?
I've heard. If Steve Ormond was offered a world title eliminator against Paul Osmosis, absolutely take that fight. I wouldn't have any concerns of who he offered a fight with as a world title eliminator. I wouldn't have any concerns because the world title eliminator is the next step to winning the world title. Okay, and I believe Steve Ormond beats Paul Osmosis. And Paul Osmosis was seen against Ricky Burns, was fighting a real good fight. I think he quit the 11th round, did he?
Yeah.
When usually it was kind of a weird setup. But anyway, but Steve Ormond right now he gets better fight by fight. And his last fight in Belfast, he proved to people that he's not just a one-trick pony, moving, throwing shots. He can punch. And we've been working at the gym, and it hasn't been coming. Now it's clicked. Now he knows how to turn into them shots, and he's proved he's knocked out a guy that, you know, the likes of Kevin Mitchell and John Murray. John Murray.
Yeah, John Murray.
John Murray couldn't do. So he's grown in confidence. And if, you know, I did speak to him, I said, what if this Paul Osmosis fight comes along? You know, how do you feel? He says, I don't care. I'll fight anybody. I want to be a world champion, and he doesn't even care. I said to Steve, you come to the gym, we've got a game plan, we work this game plan, we stick with it. Fine. And
you're in camp now for September the 6th, I presume?
We're in camp for September the 6th. Possibility that he's fighting on Francis Undercard. Yeah. We've been told that's a possibility. So we're training for that until.
And is that, would it be then the Moses fight possibly? And if, or do you need the 6 weeks to just be with Moses and mine separate? Or?
Well, if he's going to fight Paul Osmosis, and that's what, 9 weeks away?
Oh, yeah.
Right. If he's going to fight Paul Osmosis, if that fight's going to happen, we would have to know this weekend, no later. We'd have to know this weekend, no later, because we have an 8-week training camp, and we'd have to know what sparring partners to bring in for that fight. Now, I've already discussed, I've already spoke to Francis Warren, I spoke to George Warren during the week. They're having a meeting on Thursday. They've come back with a few ideas for Steve and a few options. They both are on the same hymn sheet. They both want Steve to fight for a world title.
So that world title's on the horizon?
Well, you know, from through the grapevine, Crawford's moving up away. Gamboa has moved down away.
Yeah.
The title could be vacant, and Beltran is the number 1. So, of all possibility, Steve Ormond could be fighting Beltran for a vacant world title.
That's great news for this gym. Things seem to be taking off.
It's great news for this gym, but like I say, it's a fight-by-fight basis. Fighters have to not think beyond worlds, because I've seen guys, you know, they've thrown away because they look beyond the next fight. To me, Paul Osmosis is a world title fight. To fight Paul Osmosis, that's a world title fight. But who knows? We might get offered that fight if all works out. And Beltran, if the title's vacant and Beltran's fight, we might get offered that fight straight away. Because he's ranked. Steve is ranked.
I think he's 8th.
He's ranked number 8. He was, funnily enough, he was ranked number 7 going into his last fight. And then he destroyed his opponent, and then went up to number 8.
But them two boys kind of pushed him to 6. Well,
Andy Crawler was there, and Ricky Burns was there. Ricky Burns fought an eliminator for, I think, WBC or WBA title. So I think what that does automatically moves him out of WBO rankings. Andy Crawler's fighting for world title WBC.
They're lined up, yeah.
Intercontinental or some, you know, so that will move him out of the rankings WBO, I think. If Crawford moves up and Gamboa moves down, there's 4 people gone. So Steve could go from number 8 to number 4 all of a sudden, or maybe even number 3. Now, if like I say, money talks. If Frank Warren can make that fight with Beltran if the title's vacant for a vacant world title, I believe Frank Warren would have more control than Moses people would to get that fight for Steve Ormond. And I think Steve Ormond is either one fight or maybe less, maybe his next fight for a world title.
Just because with Stephen we would have been here and, you know, he's this good, he's this over the years, but it's been frustrating for him. Is it totally...
No, Stephen Ormond's problem is I have Steve just over 3 years now. Just over 3 years, I think. And when he came to me, I seen him spar once, never seen him fight, but I heard so many great things about him. And Steve naturally was a very good fighter, is a very good fighter, but he didn't believe it. He actually didn't believe in himself. That was the first thing I noticed with Steve. He actually had no self-belief in himself. He's got a whole transformation now. He's confident. Like, I see things he does, he's confident, he believes in himself. You know, there was little things over time that we had to change. It's a very positive environment, there's good people around him. If he needs help or anything, people are there to help him. Because you've got to realise that outside the fighter being in the gym, he's got a whole life going on there as well. And you have to help them outside the gym, because when you gym 2 hours a day, probably 4 or 5 days a week, then you got all this time outside the gym. You've got to help outside the gym too to grow, to be confident. And we've worked with a lot of, we've worked with our sports psychologists out here. But it's not just that, it's the people in the gym, it's a good environment, and people telling him that he's good, but people that he trusts telling him he's good, and he believes it. And now he knows he's good, because, I mean, he annihilated Derry matches. He destroyed his last opponent. You know, he fought Adam Dingsdale. Adam Dingsdale is a very good fighter, by the way. Very good fighter, still undefeated since he fought Adam Dingsdale.
On the Deborah show, was it?
No, he won the title on the Deborah show. Oh, it was 2 weeks later. It was another charity show. I think it was like a rock and roll music charity, whatever. And we got a week's notice. He's in shape. He take the fight. It wasn't 100% right on the night, but he boxed and he beat Adam Dingsdale. Adam Dingsdale was good. It was tough. You know, every test they've offered him, he's come true. And even the Paul Appleby fight, he won the fight. I don't want to keep going on about it. That's history now. But I think what it done with Steve was it motivated him even more determined and more deliberate in his fights, that there's no way it's going to go to the judges' scorecards anymore, and if it does, they cannot give it the way. And thank God in Liverpool that's what he did, because Derry matches, I think a close fight may have got it. You know, hometown fighter, big ticket seller, but Steve just annihilated, absolutely annihilated. You know, Derry's come back with a sore hand. That's bullshit, because he was still throwing the shot right through the whole fight. I never seen him once in the corner, even tell his corner he hurt his hand. Never seen that. And I'm taking none away Derry. I was concerned in that fight, because I know Derry matches can knock guys out, and he's got power. And Steve said it, he has got some power. But up until the very last bell, I was concerned, because I've seen Derry pull it out, and he's a class act. He's a good fighter. He's tough, and I think his potential. I think as far as Steve Ormond's concerned, I think that's as good as he'll ever get against Steve Ormond. He's calling for rematches. I don't think he'd ever progress to be better than he was against Steve Ormond, because Steve Ormond can fight, by the way. He can box you for 100 miles an hour non-stop, come at you. I can stand there and knock you out, and he's proved that now.
And so, in terms of Stephen Ormond, this year is the big year, or even maybe into next year?
I don't want to put pressure. You know, I don't want to. Boxing is a funny sport. Like I say to you, we have a big show coming up to the National Stadium on August 3rd. But if there's injuries, a fight gets injured, the whole show is gone. It's not like you get in soccer, get a substitute, put him in there, the show still goes on. Steve Ormond, this has been a good year so far for him. Last year was a very good year for him. So far the start of the year has been a good year for him too. And I believe it's going to continue to be a good year. I believe not just because he's my fighter. I believe he will win a world title if he's given the opportunities. I believe he will win a world title, and I believe he'll hold on to it for a long time. He'll defend it and hold on for a long time. I believe he'll be. You know, I always say to my fighters, don't want to become a world champ. Want to become a Hall of Fame fighter. You know, set your goals even higher. And if you're setting goals to being a Hall of Fame fighter, then you should be world titles. But I'll also say to them, I don't believe you're good enough to win a world title, so don't waste your time in the gym. And if I didn't believe if I was going to win a world title, or a European title, or a certain title at that level, I'd say, you know, get an education, go get a job, because it's a tough, hard game.
Well, fair play to talking to us, Paschal.
Thanks very much. Thanks very much.
His aim is killing him.